Hey everybody, I want to show you 5 ways that I use Google Forms during e-learning and also some ways that might save you some time when we're not e-learning and we're actually back in the classroom. So the very first way I like to use Google Forms is to collect student and parent information. One of those ways is at the very beginning of the school year, I use a syllabus just like many of us, to collect parents' information where I have the link to the syllabus right there, and I have the students fill out this part, and then the parents fill out this part. And I also like to collect, phone numbers and email addresses. I use those email addresses to um, uh, mail back newsletters and monthly notes and things like that. The second way I like to use Google Forms, or I imagine people using Google Forms, is a reading log. I am a high school teacher and I don't do reading logs, but let's say I was a reading teacher or a literature teacher or maybe even a music teacher, and I could create some kind of reading log or music log where I'm asking for students' names, homeroom, and then just some kind of collect number of minutes. And you can simply add more questions over here very simply by hitting this, and you can see all the different types of questions that you can add. So you could collect information on what type of book they're reading, or some favorite quotes that they're reading from. Um, Over here, the third way I use Google Forms, especially in this time of e-learning or distance learning, is to do attendance login. So I ask for the student's name, and then there is a calendar or a date question where I ask the students to do this daily on the days that we are doing e-learning. And I simply ask them how they're doing on a scale from 1 to 5. Now, this helps me out a lot because any student that answers a 1 or a 2 on this, I immediately email them and just to check in to see if there's anything I can do to help, or anyone else can do to help, and just see how they're doing. If you don't do attendance and maybe you do questions of the day, this is something I do every Thursday, where we do a Think About It Thursday. And at the school that I work with, we are doing the race model. So I ask what question here, give them an article to read, and ask them to restate, answer, cite, and explain their answer. This is really helpful because I can easily check their responses right here. And just like with all of these, you can throw it into a spreadsheet if that's easier for you to read. The fourth way I like to use forms is for quizzes. Let's say I am an elementary teacher and we're doing sight words, right? So you can do this with e-learning, or you could do this on a regular school week, where at the end of the week, the students take a spelling test. And you have the questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many questions you have, or spelling words you have. If you hit this settings button right here, you can go to quizzes. And it defaults to not be a quiz. And in this case, we want it to be a quiz. You can have it grade immediately after or a little bit later. I do suggest that you load the answers in here before you send this to the students, because then it just makes it a little bit easier to grade. So you simply hit answer key, and then you write your answers in here. So in this case, my first word that the students are going to do is and. You can do this with not only spelling tests, but you can also do this with math things. Very simple question would be to add, math questions in here instead of number 1. You could add math questions and have the answers there. And of course, it grades it for you. I'm a teacher. I hate grading, so this has been a huge time saver. One of the last things that I like to do with Google Forms is collect information about the students and everything from their favorites. So at the beginning of the year, I create this for each class and I ask them what their favorite sports teams are, favorite video games, favorite books, and things like that, favorite college. And then I take that information and I put it into a Gimkit or a Kahoot, and we make it into a game, and it makes it a lot of fun getting to know the students. Another way you could do that is have students create quizzes for the rest of their class. If they're reading a book, or if you're doing Genius Hour, or if the students have created a Flipgrid and they want to ask their peers certain questions, have them create a Google form for the class and just make it a lot of fun. It also helps take some workload off of you, and students take so much pride in their work. Give them a chance to ask their peers questions. It makes this whole interaction of e-learning just so much better. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below or look me up on Twitter. I'm just at Seth Ponder, and I'd love to talk to you and see your favorite ways to use Google Forms. Thanks for watching.